Welcome to We Talk Money. I'm your host, Robert Gignac, author of the international bestseller, Rich is a State of Mind. And in this episode, we're talking about the largest purchase you're ever likely to make. We're talking about your home. And my guest today is Mike Antczak from Remax Premier. Mike, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Bob.
Mike, if you would, tell us a little bit about your brand. Why Remax?
Well, thanks for, again, having me on the show. I chose Remax because Remax is the most recognized brand in the world in real estate. And they have the most extensive training. And I wanted to be surrounded with the best. And Remax is known to have the best of the best. Remax actually stands for Real Estate Maximus.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons I wanted to partner up with such a company.
So Remax is global.
Correct.
Remax Premier, the brokerage you belong to, tell us a little bit about that if you would.
Okay. Remax Premier is based out of Vaughan, Ontario, and we also have 4 other locations surrounding Toronto and around Vaughan.
Okay.
We have over 300 sales associates at the present time, and we continue to grow. It's quite a nice little niche market that we have, and we are very involved in the community. In fact, right now we're trying to generate $1 million for the new hospital they're building in Vaughan.
Oh, nice. So a charitable fundraising operation as well.
Correct.
Now, as a professional real estate agent, you've been at this a significant amount of time. What are
14 years now. Yes.
14 years. What are some of your unique strengths that you bring to your practice when you're working with your clients?
First and foremost, I really generally care about my clients. You know, it is the biggest purchase that they probably will ever make in their life, and I like to be there every step of the way. And I have a very strong attention to detail.
Okay.
So what I do with that is I help stage the house. I like to get that wow factor, if you will.
Okay.
So when someone comes and opens up the door, a family, if you will, they have that, wow, this is our place. And the way I'm able to do that is I put together a team of professionals, such as stagers, painters, contractors, home inspectors, landscapers, and we transform the house to a very sellable state, okay, and in a very timely fashion.
So you're bringing a bunch of other experts in, almost, I don't want to call it real estate theater, but you're creating a wow factor because selling homes is a very competitive market these days, isn't it?
It certainly is. And I think in today's market, you know, it'll cool down a little bit. It's more important to have a professional like myself come in and make sure that the process is seamless, if you will.
Well, I think this is a good place to leave the conversation. We're going to talk about the real estate market, as you mentioned, and we'll be back to talk about that right after this short break.
Let's face it, finding the right career for me is really tough. How can I know my own strengths and reflect my true self to potential employers? I want a career, not just a job.
How can I discover my true self?
That's the question every job seeker should be asking before they begin their search.
Welcome to Career Streams, the largest private career counseling company in southwestern Ontario.
Through our unique objective testing process, we coach you into discovering aptitudes and skills that reflect your true self.
We listen and guide you along the way so you can realize your true potential. With over 20 years of one-on-one career counseling experience, we're here to help.
Invest in yourself for a brighter future. Contact Career Streams Resources today. Take that first step towards career success.
Welcome back to We Talk Money. My guest today is Mike Antczak from Remax Premier, and we've been talking about all things home related, one of the biggest purchases you're ever going to make. Now, just before we went to break, Mike, we were talking about markets and things related to houses, but I've got a question. How do you determine whether or not to rent or buy?
Well, I think that comes down to probably a lifestyle. There's many benefits to renting, and there's benefits to buying.
Okay.
I guess the biggest benefits or pros to renting are you get to free up cash. You don't have to put big lumps of cash down for a deposit and down payment, and you have I guess more flexibility of where you want to live.
Okay.
And you can afford a place. You could afford to live maybe in a place that you normally can't afford to buy, because rents are
Right.
a little bit less expensive. Benefits of buying, obviously, you do get pride of ownership. First and foremost, you do build up equity, your own equity, and it is a tax-free, investment. So I think that's a plus, and you're not burdened by landlord leases and their their rules. A dog, if you want
It's
a
your
dog,
house,
and
do
you
your own
can't-
thing, right?
That's right.
Okay. So while we're trying to contemplate that, the government has come along and made some changes that have had some impact on the housing market. Can you share a little bit about that with our viewers?
Sure. They actually have implemented a few rules to help soften the market.
Okay.
And in fact, they have. It's always a good thing that the government does try to, stabilize the market, because it helps with jobs and,
Right.
and
So
stability.
prices were rising too fast. They thought the market was too hot. Right?
Exactly. So, they implemented the foreign buyers tax first and foremost, and that actually, it helped. What it did is actually pole vaulted the market first
Okay.
to historical highs like we've never seen before. I think the market went up 33% in a year, which is outstanding. So it needed to be softened up, and they did. Back in 2008, if you remember the big recession,
Right.
Canada really came out much better than the rest of the world, and that's because the government did intervene.
And made sure that we didn't have the issues with the banks giving loans to people who had no jobs and no income.
That's right, and then they end up selling all those off to the subprime mortgages.
So one of the questions I like to ask all my guests in order to help wrap up the show is, what do you wish our viewers knew about your profession that they probably don't know?
The biggest thing I would like people to know is that we are not just realtors, we're not just business people collecting a check. We actually do care about our clients, at least I do, and we do wear many hats. We are mediators, we are psychologists, we are accountants, we're legal advisors, and stagers, of course. So, we're there to help the process along. And it's a very stressful process. Some say it's more stressful than going through a divorce.
Or kind of like being a guest on my show.
Or that too. Actually, you've made it really nice, and I appreciate you having me here. So I really think it's important to call a real estate agent, because they are professionals in the industry. They do know how to get the most money and how to make it, I guess, less stressful in your life. So if you do need myself, I could be reached at www.realestatemike.ca, or you can call 416-399-4221.
Mike, I want to thank you for being my guest today and sharing your expertise with our viewers. This has been another episode of We Talk Money. For those of you watching at home, if you've got questions, things you'd like to see in future episodes, please drop us a note. You can catch up on all the previous episodes at we-tv.ca. Thank you for watching. Until next time. I'm Robert Gignac. I'm the host of We Talk Money, and today I'm in conversation with Mike Antczak, award-winning real estate agent with Remax Premier in Vaughan. Mike, lots of great things are going on in Vaughan. Share with our viewers what's happening and why you're so excited.
Well, thanks for having me. There are some amazing things going on in Vaughan. It is exciting. They're building a new hospital as we speak, In fact, our brokerage, Remax Premier, is helping to generate $1 million to help erect the hospital. We're surrounded by highways. We have the 407, we have the 400, and now we have the new subway that comes that goes all the way to Toronto. You can make it to Toronto in 45 minutes,
Okay.
which is pretty good. So whether you are a commuter going to work, or if you maybe you're a cottager and you want to fly up to 400, it's a great place to reside. It's easy to skip to Toronto. It's easy to get to up north, and there's a lot of growth right now with businesses, with the housing market. And it's just an exciting place. There's condos being built, so it's a really good place. People are starting to flourish that way because of the, I guess, the proximity to everything.
It's kind of right in the center, and it just gives people an easier access to pretty much everything they want to do. And if you'd like to find out more about the City of Vaughan or the services offered by Mike Antczak, award-winning real estate agent with Remax Premier, you can find those out at realestatemike.ca. Thank you for watching.